Hey there, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hey, welcome to another episode. Again, this is me, George Zaky. I'm a 3D character artist from Egypt. Again, if you don't know me, you probably saw one of my work on ArtStation or Pinterest or whatever. So, I'm doing character blockouts and base meshes for living. And ArtStation is running the summer sale these days. So all my blockouts are at 50% off. So yeah, if you are interested in one of my blockouts, you can check out my ArtStation link in the description below. So let's continue. Today we are going to work on her face and hand, and maybe we will block out her feet. I mean her toes, of course. So, hello from Mexico. Hi. Check the, the stream. So, let's continue. So, for the head, I have my. I'd like to split the head into the two pieces. Well, at first, you know, I can see her cheekbones. Her cheek are a bit down, and the bony landmark here. So I want this round shape. I like to capture the 3/4 view of her. Um, so what I really like to do now is adding her nose. This will help me a lot with the measurement for her face. Let's add her nose. So for her nose, I will split the nose into two pieces, I think, but not now. Now I'd like to add an appendage here, just where her nose starts. So you can see the plane change here. She doesn't have a long nose. Again, if you're not familiar with my workflow, I really like to um I really like to adjust any or fix the connections here. Any intersection between any two objects I have, basically. I'd like to I'd like it to appear as a one object, a single object. I'll widen her nose a bit from this point, pull it outward. Can imagine this point will be the beginning of her mouth area here. We'll definitely define that later, but let's continue. See what I can do here. I can split and mask. Maybe it's a bad idea. Let's merge down. So at this point, I really like to add some geometry here. Trying to decide if I want the geometry, if I want to add the geometry with the edge loop, or just dividing this mesh. Again, her mouse feels a bit too tall here on my side. I think I am going to just divide these. Okay, this will be enough. I can use polish by feature as always to polish the geometry without destroying all the planes or the big points I have. I can do the same for this part too. Let's divide, polish by feature, just like that. Again, fixing these connections. Because I really don't like any sharp transition between my objects here. You see this? Just want this plane. So for her eyes, I'd like to block out her eyes now. See, that was I talking about. Hello, Diego. Hi, welcome to the stream. So, I really like to push this point inward to have a blade for her eyes. So, have a, she doesn't have a developed bottom eyelid, I think. So, I will just adjust the faces here. Do you have a workflow for anatomy blockout? This is my workflow basically. Well, my old workflow. If you mean a tutorial, I do have a tutorial on my art station, but I wasn't using Zbrush. I was using another software for the tutorial. The tutorial doesn't have sound though, just my process. Basically, the same thing you see here, but more relaxed and more organized, I think. So let's add a sphere for her eyes. Let's enable local symmetry. Scale it up a bit. Well, she have big eyes. Some big eyelid. Upper eyelid. Her upper eyelid is very pronounced. So Diego, you can check out my stream on Zbrush channel here. I basically show you how I make this from scratch. And of course, we will continue working on it. So I think this is this is gonna be a good eye. So for the eyelid, I'd like to duplicate it. This is the upper eyelid. Do you ever sculpt on a blockout before you dynamesh everything together? Um, well, so as I said before, this is my old blockout, my old method, my old workflow. I have a new workflow for ZBrush, specifically for ZBrush, because in ZBrush I don't really care about the geometry that much. ZBrush handle geometry really well. I can use a bunch of remeshing options I have. Dynamesh, Sculptist Pro. Then I use the remesher to go to the low poly version again. So I'll show you guys my new workflow. But for beginners, I want you to use this method using primitive, really low poly primitives. Why? Because you will focus on the main shapes. It will force you basically to focus on the main shape before jumping into the high poly detail you want to add. So for the upper eyelid, I think this is the upper eyelid. Maybe I think I'll move it down a bit. I will show you on one of my next live streams. Oh, the primitives I add, I made my these primitives. I basically add a low poly appendage here because I usually work with a very low poly meshes, you know. Maybe I can share this with you guys later. But let's focus on our character here for a second. So as I was saying, she doesn't have a very developed lower eyelid. I'm trying to decide here if I want to add a lower eyelid or not. Maybe I can feel this one is a bit too high. See this round? Was too pronounced. So the eyelid is thick. Have a lot. I've seen a lot of thinners mistake. They make the eyelid really thin. So let's duplicate the eyes again. Let's trim this part. Basically scale it and rotate it a little bit here. So what are you guys working on right now? And does any of you have one of my blockouts? Just curious here. So this is her eyes. So I'd like to treat the whole eyes. I will replace this sphere in the center later at the end of the stream. But basically now I like to treat all the pieces as if it's a single object for her eyes. you know, since I have a face here, and I don't like this blade change here, I can add another piece here for the eyes. So the eyes basically usually have this part here. I can maybe add another part here, because she is not going to be very feminine. I mean, she's a warrior. So, sorry, I'm building a face here. So, usually I struggle a bit with faces. I mean, who doesn't? So, I think this is going to be it for the upper part. For the lower part, though, I think I need to have. I think I want to split this part, as I'm going to duplicate it and building the chin here. And I can see a plane change here. Maybe I can do it with another primitive here. So let's split and mask. Let's duplicate this piece. Control Shift D. So I have two pieces occupying the same space here. So this part I want it to be the lower part of the face. I mean the chin, basically. I want to have this plane here. Again, sorry I'm not speaking this much. Again, faces require a bit of attention here. So, especially female faces. I'm here trying to decide if I want, you know, I can build the upper lip and lower lip from this piece and this piece, basically. Or I can add another two pieces here. Again, just trying to decide which workflow. So as you can see here, you can easily build her. That looks weird. I know. Oh, so maybe I won't do that. Let let's just let these two. I just want a few marks here. So this line will be her mouth. I'd like to develop a chin here, because as you can see, she have a, uh, a chin. So what I really like to add now is two spheres here. I want to develop new landmark here first. Basically, I want volume, some volumes for her mouth, like that. Then I will replace this volume with the primitives I have. So let's do it. Let's add a sphere here. Let unmask, scale it up, or maybe she has a very small mouth. Again, I'm going to try to replicate that. Again, just building the volumes here. And since I have the volumes for the upper and lower lip, I can add an edge loop here, an edge loop here, and maybe another one here. I can add a bunch of edge loops here to develop her lips, but I think I'm going to duplicate it. Again, split and mask. I'm going to build the upper and lower lip from this piece here. So her lips are a bit wide. I can fix that since it's a single geometry, a low poly version. So I'm trying to fix their lip a little bit here. No, a bit super low poly. But this is always the way it is with my workflow here. Everything is just super low poly, trying to capture the curvature per mouth. So let's merge these two pieces together because I want to edit them as a single object. So see how I built the mouth from very low poly primitive, just using the landmark here. Think I will add a small piece here just to close this gap. I'll add a small piece here. Because I really want to close this small gap here. Again, not making it very pronounced. I think the mouth is a bit wide. Let's merge these two pieces also. And let's merge it with her mouth too. Let's merge this too. I think the mouth is a bit wide. So, you see this lane here? Well, before that, let's just let the nose and let's add, let's see, let's add an edge loop here, an edge loop here, just to define the major landmark. Adding an edge loop here too, maybe polish by feature. Hmm, I'm trying to decide if I want to add a few pieces here to define the nose a bit more. You know what? Let's add another piece here for the nostril. This is basically it. Let's add another piece here. course, this is a bit too much for stylized nose. But hey, we're having fun, right? Again, developing a few planes here. Think I don't like it here. Yeah, this is much better now. Maybe I can using the paintbrush here too. Again, don't like any of these separations. So now I have it. Now what I really like to do is to merge all these pieces together again. I want to edit this as a whole. I think I forgot to divide this the neck here. Just to keep everything consistent a bit. Oh, I thought I lost the stream here for a second. Sorry, guys. So let's start working on the hand. Well, for the hand, I think I have. Let's split hidden these two parts because we don't want these two here. because I'm going to build the fingers here from scratch. So for the fingers, let's start before going to the fingers for working on them. Let's try to fix these pieces before subdividing them. Let's let's press auto group, mirror and well. Let's divide this piece. Mm, trying to think here. I want to divide it one more time. So before that, let's do one level polish by feature. Again, I'm trying to keep everything consistent here. Let's divide this part too. Again, one level polish by feature. I can use the move brush to edit this area here. For a second. Again, trying to adjust the intersection here before going any further for the fingers. So for the fingers, I'd like to start here blocking out the fingers. For the fingers, I'd like to use the low poly appendage here. Well, I'm making the fingers straight at first and a bit, thin, just like that. Maybe scale it down a bit more. So for the fingers, I really like to enable dynamic symmetry here and duplicate this. See, when I duplicate the fingers, I like to have um, my intersecting point either on the last edge here or on the middle one here. Again, not super perfect, but I'll show you why in a moment. Again, this is too long. Lid hidden. Again, photo group, mirror and welt. Let's call the finger now. So I'm gonna fix that in a moment. Because I think this is happening because I have local symmetry on. Yeah, let's enable local symmetry again, dynamic symmetry. See, now I can use the smooth brush here to smooth out the intersection and to scale down this brush. Again, this is what I was talking about. See this? Let's use the paintbrush for this. I really like to have something here. An edge loop, you know? So basically now I'm defining the knuckles of the finger here. See how good it is now. Trying to decide again if I want to, you know, bend this finger a little bit more here. Just a little bit here. Again, trying to not over complicate the process here. I think this is going to be enough. I can just press Ctrl Shift and D to duplicate that, move it on into the place of the middle finger here, rotate it a little bit, scale it here, the Z axis. Maybe moving it upward a little. Think too tall now. No. Again, Control Shift and D. You know what? Let let's do it with this finger. Because this one is basically the same height. Are basically the same height here. Let's Control Shift and D again. This is the pinky finger. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Rotate it a little bit more. Move it. Going, I want to capture this arc. And basically the middle finger. The pinky here. Can be a bit more relaxed here. This one also. So let's disable local symmetry here and mirror all these fingers. Which one is? I think this is an extra. Yeah, this is an extra piece. Let's delete it. So for the thumb area, hey, thanks. It's a 50% discount. This is my biggest discount to date. I never did a 50% discount. As you can see, it's a steal basically. I mean, if I'm not George, I would buy all of my blockouts and anatomy Ecochet here. So let's continue. I really want to duplicate this finger and make the thumb out of it. Let's duplicate it. Don't want to lose the scale here. So let's delete hidden. Let's delete the thumb here, or before that, let's trace it, or try to trace it a bit. So let's delete this piece. Let's delete that too. I don't want the blocky shape we had. So this is basically the hand. Let's mirror that to the other side. Mm, I really want to try to decide if I want to add a few details here. No, let's delete it as it is now. So let's add this to a new folder here. New folder. Let's name it 10. Let's duplicate that folder. Okay. Let's hide this one. Let's disable dynamic here. So I think this is enough for her hand. I can always do a few more passes here. I know something of. I think this is the problem here. Yeah, definitely. Oh, the palm of her hand is a bit long, so I have to push it outward a little bit here. Um, I think this is going to be it for her hand. Mm, again, let's see what we can do for her toes here. So for her toes, I think I'm going to maybe define them a bit more here. Just to see where I can start basically on them. Just sketching here. I'll block them out in a second. Just want to check a few things here with the proportions and stuff. So I imagine these are her fingers, her toes. So again, I'll be using the appendage here. Edit the rotation, around well. So basically, I will do the oh, let's try something first here. So basically, I will make a one finger here. Let's make it flat from the bottom. Make it short here. I won't make the big finger now. Big toes. Split hand mask again. Let's duplicate that. Think this is going to be it for now. So for stylized toes, think 2 pieces are going to be enough. Again, auto group, very well. Let's use the paintbrush again. Oh, before that, let's enable dynamic symmetry. So delete this finger. Deleted in fingers. These are the toes. Oh, forgot to enable the symmetry here. Let's activate symmetry again. Using the paintbrush, already done. Let's start working on this one again. So Control Shift D Again, Control Shift and D. Bear with me a little here, guys. I know it became a little bit boring now. Control Shift and D again. Moving this one backward. Not, you know. I'll eventually disable the symmetry at this point, but let's duplicate the last toe. Control Shift D again. Destroy all the fingers, toes. Sorry, no, 15 staying fingers. Let's disable the symmetry now. Because her feet is not pointing forward. My mistake. My own mistake. I think instead of using the fingers here, I'll use this edge loop. I can stitch these 2 points. So, did 2 point. Not working. Why? Why is that? Oh, symmetry is off. Um, so mirror, mirror and weld, mirror, mirror and weld, mirror, mirror and weld. Basically for all tones. I think, yeah, I think I can, you know, make this go down a bit too boxy for my taste. Again, just following basic beat anatomy here. So, I think that's it. I won't be taking this any further. Maybe I can left now this beat. Enable perspective. Mm, yeah. Sorry, I can leave it like that. But I really want to really want to improve the shape a bit more. Yeah, something like that. Let's scale this down. So for the head, I think it is a bit too large. So we can always, let's disable these lines. We can always press the pause mesh to edit the whole thing. So this is going to be the final result. I won't add any other details. Already established all the details I want for the for this female blockout. It was fun. So that's it, guys. I think we did a great job. Yeah, we can always improve the blockout furthermore, but I think this is gonna be it for this female blockout, as I don't think I as I don't think I have any other ideas basically to improve it. Hmm. Think I could add another piece here just to improve the silhouette a bit more, you know. But yeah, let let's do it some other time. Yeah, let's do it some other time. So thanks so much for watching me today, guys. Again, there's a 50% discount on Art Station. This is my biggest discount yet. It will last, I think, 5 days from now. So if you are interested in one of my blockouts or maybe some of them, you can pick it up here from ArtStation. Link to the my ArtStation in the description down below, or you can see it here. I think. Yeah, George Zaky 108, 108. Let's take a screenshot here. Female for final. So thanks so much for watching, guys.